Hey guys, it's Catherine Rod, Technical Agronomist Channel in Northern and Central Illinois. And today, for Thoughts from the Truck, we're going to take it back to crop physiology class. I want to talk about the environmental weather conditions that we've seen this growing season so far for 2025 and how that is relating to tassel wrap and the pollination issues that have taken the countryside by storm the past couple of weeks. So if we think about 2025 and how we started off, we had a pretty decent planting window of, mid April, late April, and then that early May. Most of us got done by Mother's Day. Crop emerged pretty decently. We did have some uneven emergence, and I think there's a little bit more out there than what we originally thought to begin with. But if we think about our May timeframe, especially as plants were emerging in those first couple weeks after emergence, it was cooler, right? I mean, we were sitting around there at the end of May, first part of June going, why is our corn yellow? The beans have gotten up but stalled. Should I be putting up, when is this going to start growing again? We had cooler days and we had cooler nights during this time frame, and we had slow GDU accumulation. And I'm going to put a graph here, of climate districts for the Midwest for overnight temperatures. And so red is the hottest and blue is the coldest for 133 years. And for the most part, especially in our world of, central Illinois, we were in the blues. We were cooler. We had a cooler, slower start to the growing season 2025. So that's from May 14th to June 14th, 15th. And then about that time frame, we flipped a switch and got really hot really fast. And then so for the next month, from June 14th to July 15th, we were very hot, and our overnight temperatures were pretty hot too, and our crop just took off. And so the next graph I'm going to show right here is overnight temps for that late June, early part of July. Again, red is the warmest on record, blue is the coldest on record. There's a lot of red in that graph, and we are in some of the hottest overnight temps on record here in Illinois. And a lot of those overnight temps and daytime temperatures have led to a lot of stressful growing days. Now, a stressful growing day is over 86 degrees in Fahrenheit in temperatures, right? Because our GDU accumulation tops out at 86 degrees. And so if we look at the last graph here, our stress degree days for, June 15th to July 15th, we're in that orange time frame, and we're actually in the top 25% of most stressful growing conditions for that time frame in 133 years. So what does that all mean when it comes to crop physiology? So when a plant is stressed, it's going to start growing faster because its main goal right now, especially in that vegetative and early reproductive phase, is to put on a seed as quickly as it can. So there's the next generation after this plant dies. And so with our higher overnight temps, I personally think that the crop has been in more of an overdrive mode, and it's more stressed than what we actually realized it is. Even though we've gotten some good rains, some of us have got better rains than others. I wouldn't say we're overly dry generally across the territory. But we're probably more stressed than what we actually realize because of such high overnight temps. We really haven't had cooler overnights, and that plant really hasn't been able to rest overnight, for lack of a better term, rest overnight to then, recharge and go again the next day. And I think that's taking more of a toll than what we actually realize. And so when a plant is stressed, especially as it reaches pollination, it's going to accelerate that. And so what I think has happened, because of the high overnight temps, is that plant has pushed for tassel, to make the tassel, push it out, and shed the pollen. Normally pollination in a really good year, it takes 5 to 7 days for a tassel to fully pollinate, release all of its pollen. However, this year, I think that's definitely shortened because of our high nighttime and daytime temps. And so so normally a tassel will start shedding in the middle of the main stem here, and then go up and down and then do the side branches. And normally, again, that takes like 5-ish days. This year, in my opinion, that has shortened significantly, and we're closer into like that 2 to 3 day window, depending on your pollen amount, your tassel biomass, you know, how big is your tassel and how much pollen do you have to give for that, can really affect, you know, how much pollen there is to get onto all of those silks, and have all of those silks actually come up and made it out of the ear sheath to then get pollinated, right? And so I think those high nighttime temperatures have really had an effect on our crop, more than what we think we do. I mean, even looking in the past, you know, week or two, the crop has moved along significantly. I mean, there's a lot of stuff that's already in milk stage. And personally, I feel like that's a little early. I mean, it's not even August 1st yet, and we are at milk stage for some of these hybrids that were planted late April, first part of May. And in my opinion, that's fast. And I feel like this crop is moving fast, more than what we probably realize. So I think the weather the temperature especially has had a large effect on this crop. And we're moving right along at quite the clip, as we get through kernel set and into grain fill. So I know I've gone a little long for this, but it's hard to condense crop physiology into under 4 minutes. So there is really quicker thoughts from the truck for crop physiology for Wednesday, July 30th, 2025.